Hello, everybody. My name is Juan, and very recently I got an interesting question, so I thought I could bring it to you guys and I can share the answer. What I have in front of me is a data set. It's very simple. It has a user ID, which could be a name or whatever. It is about the membership of a certain club, but this problem is analogous to a lot of other problems. So we have here the user ID, the date in which they begin their membership, and the last date until which they paid, meaning that if they don't renew, that's going to be the last day. For example, for the first person, they were not in the club for that long, less than a year. But there are some people here that have been for more years. The question is, how many members were there in the club at a certain moment in time? In other words, if somebody asks me how many members were there on the 12th of April of 2015, what is actually the answer for this? This problem is analogous to a lot of other problems. For example, how many products were there in our warehouse on a certain day? When you first hear this problem, you might be tempted to bring here the begin date, add the number of records, and maybe and this is it. But this is not really the answer. What this is answering is how many people began their membership at a certain moment. But it doesn't take into account the things that were there before. My solution to this problem, and I believe there are many solutions for this, so it's fine if you have another one, is the following. The only thing that paid until and begin date have in common is that both are dates that happen in the same moment of time. My solution just simply involves pivoting these two fields so that I have here one field with the dates, which I'm going to rename to dates, and this one I'm going to call it location, maybe. It's good. Now we have here begin dates. Let's see. Yes. We have one begin date and one end date for every person. And my solution is the following. Essentially, what you do is, let me put this here. We just have to create a calculated field that does the following. If the occasion is begin date, meaning that somebody just began, add a positive, add a 1 to our equation. If not, the other option is paid until, then subtract one person. What this calculation is doing is that if the occasion is paid begin, then you add 1, and if it's paid until, you subtract 1. We'll call this count of members. And there is one last step to this, which is not only the count of members, but actually the running sum. Sum count of members, more parentheses, running sum of count. Let me show you how this looks once again. I'm gonna add the dates here and the running count to calculate the running. Now, these values seem to reflect a bit better what I wanted to show, which is how many people were there at a certain date. When you show a little bit more detail in this data source, you're going to notice something very interesting, and that is memberships are paid every semester, meaning that it's impossible to lose members between a certain semester, but that a lot of people every semester drop down. And this is the cycle of the club. For September 2019, which is the end of this data set, we don't have anybody, and that was to be expected. So once again, what did we do? We had a data set here that had two dates. originally was a begin date and an end date, which this problem can be analogous to a lot of other things that involve due dates and some user, product, whatever. In this case, it was the amount of members in a club. What I did was pivoting both of the dates, creating these two fields. Then I created a counter. If it's a begin date, you add 1. If it's a end date, you subtract 1, meaning that somebody is left. And then we just calculated the running sum, which once again I did it like this. I could have nested both of these calculations. It would make it a bit more difficult to read it, but it's essentially possible. It's just not a big fan of this. But okay, I hope you guys have learned something. I'll see you the next time. Bye.